Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you guys are doing well as always, and today we will be taking a look at another deck you can build in set 14, which is Aqua Force. Aqua Force did receive some amazing support card, but in my opinion it's just a dead clan right now. Why? That's because of Link Joker. The special thing about Aqua Force is making 4 attacks to activate certain abilities, but if you're facing off against Link Joker, most of the time you will not be able to do what Aqua Force is supposed to do, as Link Joker will just lock one of your front row and you are dead. Really nothing much you can do about it. But before you decide whether if you should build it or not, first let's take a look at the deck list. Okay, so here's the list. As you can see, there's a lot of triple rare in this deck, but if you're missing some, it's fine as there's other alternatives to play. So before we take a deeper look into the deck, first let's take a look at our main card, which is Tetra Drive Dragon. So I have a SP1 looking pretty cool. So the skill is Limit Break for once per turn. When this unit attack, it gains 5000 power and the following ability until the end of the turn. After your rearguard attack, if it's the 4th battle of that turn, count +2 and discard 2 cards from your hand to stand this unit and draw 2 cards. Also, the last ability is when this unit attack a Vanguard, it gains 3000 power. So finally, Aqua Force have received a restander, so that's a good thing. But again, if you're facing off against Link Joker, you won't be able to restand as you need 4 attacks. So if you have a restander, you will have to pair it with a good break right, and that will be Transcore Dragon. Transcore Dragon will make your opponent discard a non-sentinel card from their hand when attacked. And if they can't discard it, your Vanguard will gain +1 critical and it can't be guarded. This is a really good combo with Tetra Drive Dragon, as your opponent will need to discard a total of 2 cards from their hand, but if he or she have multiple cards in their hand, then this skill just doesn't feel great anymore. Since Tetra Drive Dragon requires a rearguard to make a 4th attack, that's why we run cards like Diamantis, Tidal Assault, and Rail Assault, as all of these 3 cards will allow you to have a total of 4 attacks in a turn. We also run cards that benefit from 4th attack, which is Algos and Valeria. This deck also uses a good amount of counterblast, which is why we also run for countercharge. Other great one we run is 2 tanky attackers and 3 accelerated command, as the +2k to rearguard is mainly for Algos and Valeria, since you can make a perfect 16k attack. The starter we are running in this deck is the Great Tree Searcher, as if you don't ride your Break Right as your first Great Tree Vanguard, Tetra Drive Dragon just doesn't feel that great. Of course, you can play the new starter Bubble Age Drago Kit like most people do, since it's a good pairing with Tidal Assault, but I personally choose not to, because if you don't draw Tidal Assault, then it's just a draw 1, and if you play that starter, you will have to run 4 Tidal Assault in your deck. So this deck have many bad matchup. Obviously Link Joker is one, but against deck that can retire your rearguard is bad as well, since you heavily rely on Rail Assault to get Tetra Drive Dragon running properly. So most of the time you can't even call it out to boost until you are ready for Limit Break. I honestly don't think this deck is worth building, as there's better option out there, but I think you should at least find out the reason why by watching some gameplay. I will have a total of 3 games in this video. First will be against Dark Irregulars, followed by Kagero and Nubatama. I will have the timestamp in the description box down below to let you choose which one to watch, but I do highly recommend watching all 3, as I will show you the difference between with Break Right and without. Is Aqua Force really that bad of a deck to play right now? Let's find out. Okay, so the first game will be against Dark Irregular, which is one of the tier 1 deck right now, mainly because of Reggie. Reggie will have 3 critical, regardless if they have Limit Break or not. That means they can keep you at 3 to prevent you from using Limit Break. So this hand is pretty solid. I think it's a full kit because we have our main grade 3 as our first right, which is the Break Right, and we have PG against Dark Irregular, which is critical, since they have 3 criticals like I just mentioned. And of course we have a grade 1 and a grade 2 to the right. So this is a pretty standard hand. We are just missing Transcore Dragon, not Transcore Dragon, we are just missing Tetra Drive Dragon and some rearguards to actually attack with. So we're just gonna write our grade 1. That is not a PG, of course. And do always put your starter behind your Vanguard, because you want your Rail Assault to either be at your left or right column. And we did draw into our Tetra Drive Dragon, and of course we got Diamantis, which is good, as it will allow us to use Algos and Valeria effect, since it need to be 4th battle. And judging by his play right now, I'm pretty confident he can get 15 soul when he go into his Reggie. So this deck can't really do much on turn 1 and turn 2 until you go into turn 3. That's where if you have access to Diamantis, you can start pushing for more damage. So when you're playing against this deck, or not against this deck, when you're playing this Aqua Force deck in general, you do want to try to push your opponent to as high damage as possible, because Transcore plus Tetra Drive Dragon only really works well if your opponent's at 4 or even at 5 damage. Okay, so he did have his Reggie, so good for him. And here he's gonna soul charge 3, so he's at 12 soul. So he's still missing potentially 2 more souls, since when attack it can soul charge 1. And that is his remaining 2 souls, so that means he have 15 soul already this turn, so that's really bad. That's not looking too good for us, because he can push us to 3 damage and then start to make us drop our PG and keep us at 3 damage. Okay, we did check a heal, which is amazing. This heal is huge, and because of this heal, he's gonna push us to 5. That means we can limit break, so that's a good thing. That's a really good thing. And let's see, can we get a draw trigger? We can't, so no more other trigger, which is fine. That heal is huge, like I say. And here I'm just gonna write Transcore Dragon. And I'm just gonna use my starter skill to hopefully try to fish us attackers, since I do need attackers, as my hand are mostly filled with PGs and I do want to keep my Tetra Drive Dragon. And that's also why I choose to run 4 Algos and not 4 Valeria, since I do value the card draw a little bit higher. And do keep in mind, when you're going for the Transcore plus Tetra Drive Dragon combo, you do want to keep 3 Counter Blasts open, because you will need at least 3 Counter Blasts. 2 for Tetra Drive Dragon and 1 for Whale Assault. So we are looking pretty good so far, since he can't finish off us this turn. And there's a really good chance we can kill him next turn, because his hand is only 3 cards. Or potentially 2 if he's still calling any more Rearguards. And he's not. So 3 cards, Transcore plus Tetra Drive Dragon combo with this card 2 cards. And also he have no intercept. That means it's looking really good for us. And the best part is he can't even heal because he's at 4 damage. Okay, I guess it's time to go for the Transcore with Tetra Drive Dragon combo, so let's go. This is a really cool animation as well, I have to throw it out there. And you guys gotta see the restanding animation, it looks amazing as well. So when you're going for this combo, you do not want to use your Diamantis. The preferred one will be Whale Assault. So here he got to discard 1 card. And if he drop a PG here, he can't guard anymore. That's the best thing about it. So now Whale Assault will allow us to switch 2 Rearguard's position. And since my Diamantis is attacking the Rearguard and it's the 4th attack, I can actually activate Tetra Drive Dragon skill. Look at this animation, it's so freaking cool. And we get to draw 2 cards, and my opponent needs to discard 1 card again. So if that's PG, he is screwed. And it is a PG, that means I gain 1 critical and he can't guard. And we check a heal, which is irrelevant, but let's see, is he gonna double heal us? I highly doubt so, but let's see. And that is game. So this is kind of the ideal scenario for Tetra Drive Dragon deck. But not all games will go like this, as I will show you. The next 2 games is not as good as this. And I guess this concludes game 1, so now let's take a look at game 2. Okay, so second game will be against Kagero, which is not the best match, since they can burn your Rearguards. So you do want to call your Rearguard down carefully. And this is a solid hand again, but I don't need 2 PG against Kagero, so I think I'm only going to 1 away because I'd rather have a Rearguard to attack with. And really get a heal trigger, but it is a Diamantis, so it is a good one as well. And here he is playing the grade 4 variant, so probably grade 4 the end with Thunder Drive Dragon, which is the most popular Kagero build right now. And here we're gonna ride Real Assault. Not a good ride since you do want to keep your Real Assault in your hand, or at least in your rearguard. A draw 3, that's good. Aqua Force do need a good amount of hand cards in their hand to actually push for more damage. And potentially use the Tetra Drive Dragon skill, which you need to discard 2 cards from your hand. So here, is he gonna burn my starter? He is not. Okay, so I guess he's gonna use his conroll, because I'm pretty sure he has his grade 4 since there is a pause the moment he writes the grade 2. And I guess it's taking a slow approach, which is fine, I guess. And here, since our hand have no Tetra Drive Dragon, I do want to try to search for it. And since I have 2 Algos, I'm just going to write my Algos as my Vanguard. And let's see, can we get a Tetra Drive Dragon? And we did, so that's good. And here, I can call more Vanguards down to hopefully push him to 3 damage. Since my hand is pretty huge and I need to call some cards down. And I guess I'm just gonna take a slow approach as well, because the moment we go into our turn 3, we can utilize Valeria and Algo's skill. That's why I choose to keep those 2 in my hand at the moment. So here he writes the end and not Thunder Drive Dragon. That's interesting. Okay, so not the best grade 3 ride for him, but regardless, it's still a really good grade 3. Okay, he chose not to burn my grade 1. Why is that? That's interesting. And if you notice, the grade 1 we are running in this gameplay is actually not the accelerated command, it's actually the other version of the plus 2k. It's the rest version, not the on plays. But after much testing, I do like the on plays better. So here we're gonna write our Trance Core again as our first Vanguard. And if you notice, our opponent hand size is huge, so we need to push him as much as we can to hopefully decrease his hand size. Otherwise, our Trance Core with Tetra Drive Dragon just doesn't feel good anymore. Okay, so here we need to get a trigger, otherwise we need 1 counter for Argos to actually hit my opponent Vanguard. And we did get a trigger and he did not, so that's good. That means we save 1 counter, so pretty good, and we get to draw 1 card as well. And he's at 5 already. That's huge. We just push him from 2 to 5. That is really good. Okay, he do have a Dragoning Overlord, that means he can potentially push us to 5. And he did not use his Overlord skill. That's interesting. And he have no grade 2 in his front row. That's even more interesting, because he can restand and put us to 3, but then he will need to drop 4 PG because I have 4 attacks. Okay, does he have another DN? Since he attacked without boost, I assume he have it. Okay, so you're gonna put me to 4 damage, because if you don't check a heal, I'm pretty sure we are gonna win the game. Okay, no heal for him, but his hand size is huge. But at least, if you don't have 4 PG, we are gonna win the game. So let's see. Wait, no, he need 5 PG. I have a total of 5 attacks because of my restand. How can I forget about that? We have 5 attacks, that means he's screwed. He is screwed. There's no way he's gonna survive this. So there's really nothing much to think about. Just gonna call my Trance Core with Valeria. And since we have 3 Counter Blasts, actually we only need 2 Counter Blasts because he have no intercepts. And as you can see, this is the moment where I feel like Transcore don't do much because his hand is huge. And discard 2 cards is nothing to him. At least in my opinion, it's not that great at this situation, but as the first game you can see, my opponent hand is small. So it really depends on the situation. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it just doesn't feel it's that great. In this game, wait, what? He checked a heal, okay. Okay, good for you, but I can restand. So can you check another heal, my friend? And of course, since it is a 4th attack on hit, I get to activate Valeria's skill. So that's pretty cool as well. I really can't get enough of this animation. It's one of the best ones I've seen in this game, that's for sure. And here we go, a 5th attack. Is he gonna survive this attack? Let's see. And that is game 2 going to us again. So, pretty similar game as the first game. The only difference is my opponent have more cards in his hand. That's why Transcore doesn't really do much. And I guess this concludes game 2. So now let's take a look at game 3. Okay, last game against Nubatama, which is also a clan that can technically retire your Vanguard. So let's see how this match goes. Pretty solid hand again. I'm just gonna mulligan my heal trigger away because I do want to try to get my Tetra Drive Dragon. And another great one to ride because I do not want to ride my Wayward Sub and we draw 2 Tetra Drive Dragon. Okay, that's a little bit too much, but I guess it's fine. And here, I'm just gonna ride my Wayward Sub since I have 2 in my hand. And you know, Aqua Force, again, it's really slow deck on the 1st and 2nd turn, but the moment you go into grade 3, that's where you can push your opponent really hard. At least if you have Diamantis, you can push 4 attacks per turn. And in my opinion, Tidal Assault is not really that great of a card. And here he did bind my Transcore, so that's really a bummer because we can't ride our Transcore as our first grade 3 Vanguard now. And why did I say Tidal Assault is not a great card? It's because you have to attack the Vanguard to use the skill. But if you can attack the Vanguard and then stand, then it will be a great card. But because you have to attack the Vanguard, that means if your opponent have 2 grade 2 in the front row, it just doesn't really do much. And the only good thing about Tidal Assault is, in the early game, if you get a trigger with boost and you can potentially push for more damage. But otherwise, I just don't see the value of that card. That's why if you don't have it, you don't run it, in my opinion. You can just run other card like 12k attacker, or 10k attacker, or even more Valeria or even Elgos. So here he's gonna put us to 4 damage. No, 3 damage. And here, sadly, we don't have our Transcore, so we have to ride our Tetra Drive Dragon as our first grade 3 Vanguard. And here, I do want to try to push as much damage as I can. So, what's the best way to do that? I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna call mostly everything down. Diamantis, 2 grade 1s, my Tidal Assault and my Tetra Drive Dragon. Oh no, so I did decide to hold on to my Tidal Assault, which is interesting. Probably because I'm afraid that he can retire my real assault and then I can't get a 4th attack off. So I guess I'm taking the slower approach and the safer approach here. So here my opponent did go for the break right. I can't really remember what Nubatama does because it's a deck that I really never played before, not gonna lie. All I know, it can bind your cards from your hand, from your field, and then retire it from there. But beside that, I have no idea what it does. So here you can see, we are not in a bad spot even without Tetra Dragon because my opponent only have 2 cards in his hand. And we can potentially close the game up next turn. If we get a draw trigger here. Okay, no draw trigger, that sucks because you do need to discard 2 cards to stand and we only have 2 cards. So here, I don't think I can limit break, sadly. Unless I get double draw, which is super unlikely. Oh, what an interesting play that I just did. And because of this play, I just need 1 draw to actually stand with my Tetra Drive Dragon, since the moment I attack, it gains 5000 power. That means I don't really need the boost anyway. So let's see, can we get a draw trigger? Because if we did, there's a good chance we win, and we did, that's good. And there's no reason to give the power to Tetra Drive Dragon, that is why I give it to my Title Assault instead. Because imagine if we get another trigger there, that means he will need to drop 3 PG and he only have 2 cards. And here we're gonna stand 1 more time and hope that the last card is not a PG. Okay, moment of truth. Can we finish him off this turn? Oh no, that's a close game. That's a close one. But we are still looking pretty good. Because he have no cards in his hand, and we're at 4 damage. And I guess that's game. There's really nothing much he can do, and here he throw a concede. And I guess this concludes Game 3, and pretty much the end of the whole deck guide video. So, do let me know your opinion about this deck. Is it really that bad of a deck as I say? Or do you think it's still a really strong deck and you are considering building it? Do let me know in the comment section down below, and I guess this should be it. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for next video. Goodbye.